community knows no bounds when the citizens are inspired to create. Imagine Martin on TV with hosts Jeff Sauer and Alexandra Herney.
Hi, I'm Al Herney, artist and taproom manager at Fairmont Brewing Company.
And I'm Jeff Sauer, loan officer with Edge Home Finance.
Welcome to Imagine Martin on TV. We got a good show planned for today, right?
Yeah, we do.
We interrupt this program to share with you the organizations that have made Imagine Martin's Community Information Hub a reality. Martin County Economic Development. American Legion, Lee C. Prentice Post 36. Martin County Pork Producers. Central Farm Services. Martin County Historical Society. Kim Chris, Exit Realty. Fairmont National Agency, Incorporated. Join us in thanking each of them. Now we return to our program.
Well, we have a great show planned for today. We've got two guests in the house that we're going to interview. It should be good.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Before we get started, though, tell us a little bit about what's going on in the hub.
Oh, yeah. We've continued to have so many people stop to the hub that are former residents of Fairmont or people traveling the country. The hub's been a great spot for people to come and shop.
It's been a hub.
It's been a hub, yeah. It's neat to meet the people that come and visit and then, purchase a little souvenir from Martin County to bring back home. The hub's been booming. And we've also had art marts every other Thursday. The next one's coming up the 31st, right?
Yeah.
July 31st?
Yep.
The art marts have been a blast too.
Yeah, they've been super popular. We're getting lots of people coming out. The music, the artists, just everything. It's been really fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, the art mart and the other stuff we've been doing is great. But we have some events coming up.
Yeah, Imagine Martin is part of a new event coming to town, and we have Hannah here to tell us a little bit more about Lake Fest. Welcome, Hannah. Thanks for being with us today.
I really appreciate you guys inviting me on. I am really, really excited to talk about Lake Fest today.
I am too. First, would you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and who you are and where you work?
Of course. My name is Hannah Neusch. I'm the Water Resources Coordinator for the City of Fairmont. I obviously work for the city, but within the city, my job is water quality based. So I was hired on in 2021, I believe, if memory serves me correctly. But essentially what my position is since it's a water quality based position, I do a lot of public outreach, and as part of that is event planning. And I'm just starting to sort of step into that role in this position as we move towards Lake Fest.
So tell us a little bit about Lake Fest and what that is.
Okay, so Lake Fest is, I'm very excited about it. It is an event that sort of developed over time. When I first started this position, it was something that I was really passionate about from the educational component, where I thought it would be really fun to have this event that was centered around the lakes, since we are a community of 5 lakes.
Right.
And we don't have, as of yet, a festival that celebrates our lakes specifically. So we wanted, my idea was, why don't we develop this into sort of a lakes festival type event? Nice. So the heart and soul of the event really comes from our partnership with Imagine Martin.
Yes.
Which is wonderful that we have such a resource in our community for things like this. But essentially, last year, the city we applied for and received a grant through the Minnesota Department of Health. Okay. So what a lot of people may or may not realize is our drinking water is drawn from our surface water, which is our lakes.
Yeah.
And because of that, there's a lot of benchmarks that we have to hit for water quality education through the community. And I thought that a Lake Fest sort of festival that celebrates our lakes, we could not only have a good time in enjoying celebrating our lakes for the recreational component, but we can also add the sort of educational component too, which I think would work really well. Time will tell if it does,
right.
But I'm really excited to share it with people. So essentially this grant, which was $8,000, we got from the Minnesota Department of Health, and it is for the installation of educational murals, artistic representations, and reminders to be the best steward of the environment and of our lakes as we can.
Right.
So with this money, we are able to hire artists such as Imagine Martin and other artists that work in the community. And they can essentially install these pieces of art that remind people to keep it clean, or that, the lake starts with you, or the lake starts here. So we've been having these installations happening over the past couple of months.
Right.
And
it started last year.
Yes, that's exactly right. At the Sip and Shop, I believe, was our first one.
Yep.
And you have been heavily involved in the planning process.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Yes, of course. Imagine Martin. I mean, that's like, our focus is to inspire people to create. And then when you came to us asking for help to find artists that could then, promote this clean drinking water aspect of your grant, it was an awesome partnership.
Yeah, it seemed to make perfect sense.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that you guys were receptive of that as well, because it made sense in my mind when I sent the email to you guys.
Yeah.
And it's worked out really, really well. And, really gone above and beyond what what we initially requested of you. So
we need to get Jeff started to paint.
Yeah.
Hey, are you going to be at Lake Fest?
I hope so.
Okay, well, we'll have a paintbrush reserved
Yes.
for you.
There you go.
When is Lake Fest exactly?
It is August 10th,
Okay.
which is the Sunday. There's no mistake there. We wanted to do it on a day where, people could come and just sort of have this, just be relaxed. I don't want people to feel rushed. I want people to come and go as they pleased. So it is on a Sunday, for now at least.
For now. Maybe in the future it'll change, but it was really hard when you and I were talking to find a date that, nothing else was planned or booked, especially in the summer when everybody's super busy.
It's a busy time of year.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. And unfortunately, with so many things happening in the community, we found out later on that there is an event that's happening at the same time. So I would like to say, at the same time, there is Threshing Days, which is happening. And I think it's important to give them a shout out too, because
Yes.
we, discussed maybe doing some sort of partnership, of our events. And it unfortunately just didn't work because of the nature of our two events. But, after you finish at Lake Fest, head over to Threshing Days. And as your Threshing Days come over to Lake Fest, we're going to have a couple different things going on at different locations. So I want to make sure I gave them a shout out as well, because that's, kind of a pillar event in the community too. So I don't want there to be any competition there.
What are the hours on the event?
10 to 4.
Okay.
Yep. So this year is going to be 10 to 4, and this is our first year.
Yeah.
So things may change over time, but this year we're sort of testing the waters, so to speak, and seeing how it goes, what we like. Make maybe a few little mistakes on a much smaller scale. And then as we grow and, get feedback from the public and get some idea of what residents like to see, and what they liked from the event and what they didn't like, we can sort of change it over time. So
I know you've been posting like kind of sneak peeks on Facebook and online. Can you give us like some of the cool things that are going to be there?
Yeah, so the heart and soul of Lake Fest is going to be Imagine Martin artists.
Yes.
Installing these paintings. So when I originally was, thinking about Lake Fest, I was really inspired by Chalk Fest, which is in the cities. I believe it's Minneapolis. Irrelevant, but where you kind of have this sort of heart and soul of this art event happening, and you have these sort of satellite vendors that are at the same time, but you really are there to watch the artist's work. And that's the idea. So the grant pays for these art installations and for the artist's time and for their supplies. So, as people come and look and watch these artists, we hope that they will also sort of be moving around the event to some of these other things. So we do have a Facebook event, the City of Fairmont does. which is new and exciting technology. But we do have it. We are updating it. We're trying to update it almost once a day with new announcements and exciting vendors and, things that are happening that we think people will be excited about. So we've announced so far, the things that I can tell you so far is we're going to have the cup truck there, which is always very exciting. There will be another food truck, but we haven't gotten to that point yet, so I won't be talking about that on this. But keep watching. We have the cup truck that's going to be there. We're going to have for those of us with little kids, this is very exciting. We're going to have a giant sand pile for the kids to climb on, bring your own shovels, buckets, that sort of thing. That will be there at Amber Lake Park. We'll have the artists that are working on the sidewalks and the paintable surfaces, but also over near the boat ramp. I do want to stress that the boat ramp's still going to be open. People can still use the boat ramp, so we're not going to be closing the boat ramp, but there will be an area that's roped off for the artists to work. Yep. So just wanted to make sure that anybody that's looking to go out on the lake that day, they can still access the lake from Amber Lake Park.
In the so you have the grant this year.
Yeah.
But is that going to be, do you think, the future too of Lake Fest, or what is it going to turn into?
Well, that's a really great question. Ideally, in my mind, in a perfect world, I would love to see Lake Fest sort of grow into this event that takes on a life of its own, And obviously, that is not something that you and I can plan alone.
Right.
So I see this sort of as an organized event with a larger group of people who are making these decisions and bringing new and inventive ideas. I would love to see this event sort of rotating around the lakes and to different parks, different locations. Whether the grant itself has to be expended, we have to use all the money by the end of the summer. So the grant will no longer be available. But my hope would be that we can find some way to sponsor the event to continue or budget it within our budget. Whether or not that's possible, I'm not sure. But I'd love to explore whatever option that looks like. So as far as 10 years from now, I'd really love to see it continue, obviously.
Yeah.
But I would also like to see the physical components of the event. I'd like to see it be much larger. I'd like to see more vendors. I'd love to see, I'd love to have live music, beverages, food, it's a place that you just sort of want to be at, sort of like a festival,
Especially with the lakes. I mean,
exactly.
It kind of goes hand in hand with Fairmont.
City of Five Lakes.
Yeah, we should celebrate our lakes, and we have other events in the city are great, but to have one focused on our 5 lakes would be really neat.
Yes, and I'd love to see the lakes being incorporated in the festival. So obviously, food trucks and art installations have to happen where there is no water.
Right,
It has to be on land.
Yes.
You can't do that on the lake. But I'd love to see, it extend into the lake. And, some ideas that we have for the future, budget and time allowing, would be having a drive-in theater, but it's with your boat, a big inflatable movie theater, and people can sit on rafts and watch a family-friendly movie and, on their boat in the evening to sort of top off the night, that sort of thing. Or having, another idea would be having a paddling excursion for people who may be novices or beginners with kayaks and canoes and that sort of thing. Getting people out on the water and enjoying our lakes. Yeah. Encouraging them to visit businesses that are on our lakes as well, or that you can access from the water. But as far as, there's the physical component of what I just described, but there's also sort of an educational component, which I think is important, which is, your water quality and your lake protection. What does that look like 10 years from now? And I would hope with the repetitiveness of the event and having that educational component in Lake Fest, that, you know, that you have a public that's more informed about our lakes in a lot of different ways, which I think will help move our community forward as far as water quality is concerned. And that's, you know, only beneficial to everyone. You know, you're talking about property values and tourism and, you know, all of those things that this is not the forum for that discussion, but it's good to do these things. And then of course you have like the benefits, you know, to a community as a whole, as having this event continue year after year. You know, everyone taking a little bit of responsibility in cleaning up after our own selves and being cognizant of how we're impacting the environment. That really pushes the whole community to be able to make these bigger, more difficult things happen. You know, because it's difficult, you know, to do these. You look at these huge projects and you think, how is this ever going to get done? And really what it comes down to is people, you know, helping each other and helping themselves. So I can't really say like in 10 years from now, you know, what exactly it would look like, but we all have this, like, you know, this dream, and that one's mine. So I'd love to see it continue, and I'd love to see it change over time. And I really think that it's poised to do that. So.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it, painting there and then seeing just who attends and who can get some fun out of it and some knowledge.
Yeah, that's right. We can, you know, as far as the attendance goes, we're really just we're inviting, of course, anybody that wants to come. The great thing about Lake Fest is that there's not an entry fee, so it's not like you have to pay any sort of ticket price to get in. And from someone with young kids, you know, like if we could save, you know, a couple dollars on things that keep them busy for a few hours, like that's fantastic. Exactly. I'm on board. So there's no admission fee. You know, we encourage everybody to come out. There's really going to be a lot of different educational components for different ages. And we're just really excited to share all of that with the community. Again, we do have a Facebook page. We can make sure that we link it. And then people can visit it. That is where we're going to be doing the updates. And we get a general idea then of, you know, who wants to attend and how many people we might expect, which is a good roundabout idea, so we can have some idea of like how many materials do we need for this sort of thing. So but we have a lot of really great vendors involved in this, and we're just very, very excited to get this off the ground. And
as you had mentioned earlier, you have like some nuggets, so if people follow the Facebook page, they'll get those nuggets as they get released. Yes, that's right. And like I said, we are keeping a few secrets. So but those secrets, I think, are going to be more exciting once we get closer to the event and we release them. So, and there are some things that are still in the works that we can't quite talk about yet. But we're really looking forward to this being sort of a family-friendly activity where people could come and go as they like, and enjoy our lakes.
Yes. Well, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Well, Hannah, thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me. I really do appreciate the time you guys took to interview me about this. And I look forward to August 10th, and I look forward to everybody else joining us there. Make sure that you follow our event page on Facebook. And I'm just super excited to see how the first year goes and moving forward into the future.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that was a great interview. Lake Fest sounds like it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's a great way for the community to be involved and have fun and promote clean water. You know, the lakes, basically, that's where our water comes from. So clean drinking water and keep the lakes clean.
Well, that's for sure. We're going to have our next guest who is here from 4-H.
Yeah,
Laura.
Let's bring Laura out.
All right. Well, welcome. We're glad to have you here with us at Imagine Martin, and tell us who you are and what your position is, and kind of we'll go into it.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Laura Pilarski, and I am the extension educator here in Martin County. So each county in Minnesota has one or sometimes more of me working in their extension office. And basically what I do is I coordinate our 4-H programs here in Martin County.
Okay.
Awesome. My family's been involved with 4-H in the past, and but in a different county.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about 4-H.
Yeah, so it's the largest youth-serving organization in the country. Our Minnesota 4-H programs are really great. We have a lot of statewide programming, so not just at the local level. You can kind of expand your interests. There are over 60 project areas as well, so there's lots of opportunities.
Wow.
I think people often think about 4-H as being really agricultural, really livestock strong, which Martin County is really livestock strong. But there are also a lot of other great project areas. We have everything from aerospace to wildlife biology management. We also have a shooting sports and wildlife program, so lots of different avenues to go down. It's kind of whatever a youth is interested in, we want to support that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I know very little about 4-H. So what does 4-H do?
Yeah, good question. So 4-H there's lots of different levels of involvement, basically. We have our community clubs, which is really kind of like the heart of 4-H and what people think of when they think of the 4-H experience of gathering with people, maybe in your neighborhood or in your wider community. We have 7 community clubs, so clubs all over Martin County for every area that you might be from. And we have in Martin County almost around 300 youth and over 90 adult volunteers. So we have a lot of community support.
Yeah.
And we also do, we have the big presence at the county fair. That's the big event that everyone, sees 4-H. They recognize the clover everywhere. But we do after school programming. We do workshops. I've been doing some library pop-ups this summer too, so lots of different ways to get involved and kind of do a taste of 4-H if you don't want to do the full community club experience, but see what we have to offer.
Do you guys partner with people like other organizations, or tell us a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We do partner with other organizations. That's something, I'm newer to my position. I'm just off of my 1-year anniversary. So I'm getting to know everyone in Martin County. I'm getting to know, who those natural partnerships are. Like I've been talking to the Girl Scouts. I worked with the libraries, like I said. So I'm super open to any new partnerships too. The more youth we can reach, the better, I think. So.
Yeah. So when I go to the fair, I tend to go to like where the plants are and the art showings of photography and stuff. So is that all included in 4-H too?
Yes. So really, 4-H is a really fun place to try out something new. If you're a youth and you're interested in maybe horticulture and you want to do a fairy garden. Fairy gardens are a new category this year. So you could try that out on your own. And it's really all about that project-based hands-on learning. So when youth come to the fair, they bring their exhibit, which you'll see in the 4-H building. And basically, their exhibit is on display. But the big thing is that they have a judging experience with a judge that's kind of an expert in that field or has a lot of experience in that field, and they have to explain why they made decisions on their project, how they did, what they learned from their project. So it's really 50-50 of the project itself, that end product, but really also about their hands-on learning experience and what they gathered from throughout the year.
Right. Where do, say, parents or youth reach out to get their child involved in these programs or do one of those projects?
Yeah, great question. So we have a local extension website page that you can go to. We also have a Facebook that we keep up to date, and we like to also post some pictures after big events and things like that, so you can kind of see what happened and get the scoop if you have some FOMO, if you missed out on a 4-H event and you're like, dang it, I should have been there. So that's a really good place to keep in touch with us at 4-H.
So my girls are really into animals, but they haven't been involved with 4-H. But you kind of mentioned a little bit that there may be opportunities for them so tell us a little bit about kind of how those opportunities would work.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have no experience with animals, maybe you live in town and you want to get that farm experience, we have a variety of ways that you can get involved. So we have our livestock initiative programs, which are really exciting. Last year we had 6 different programs. So we had Adopt a Rabbit, Adopt a Market Lamb. We have all sorts of programs basically to connect you with an experienced family in 4-H that has raised and shown those animals before. So if you are starting from scratch, it's an intimidating experience, right? Of like, okay, I have to take care of this animal. I have to feed it right so it's ready for showtime. It's often quite expensive as well. So we have you pay an application fee basically, and then 4-H helps to source the animal. We give you 1 to 2 bags of feed to kind of get you started, and then we pair you with a family that is experienced in that species. So that's a really great way if you're, wanting that farm experience, but you don't quite know where to start, especially the adopter rabbit, since it's a smaller animal. That's a really great place to start.
That wouldn't even work for me. I'm highly allergic to rabbits.
Oh no! Another great option too, if you have family members that have a farm and you live in town and you want to be more involved with their farm, you can also lease animals as well. So you don't have to actually own the animal yourself. You fill out a form that says, this owner approves that I've been working with this animal and I'll take this animal to fair. You have to ID the animal as well, but that's another great way to get involved if you don't yourself have animals. But.
Right. So is there an age range for kids or youth that want to join?
Yeah, really good question. So 4-H is kind of unique in that we serve children from kindergarten up until what we call 13 year. So basically your year after high school. So if you're going to college, you can still be in 4-H for that 1 year after high school. And you don't necessarily have to be going to college either. It's just that kind of transitional year. We still wanted people to be able to be involved. And so our K through 2nd grade participants are called Clover Buds, and they have a little bit of a different experience, right? Because fair can be really overwhelming and, projects might be a little bit different and that learning might be a little bit different. So we do offer Clover Bud day camps during the summer. And you do have to be 6th grade plus to go to the state fair, which we had 65 kids go to the state fair after our county fair last year. We had a lot of really great participants. So out of the 233 that participated in the fair last year, 65 went to the state fair.
That's really incredible. Cool. So the kickoff is the Martin County Fair, and then you can move on to state.
Yes, our fair is kind of unique in that the Martin County Fair is a little bit later. So we have about 2 days to get all of the paperwork in before you transition all your animals, get all your animals in your trailer, go up to the state fair. So it's kind of a whirlwind, but it's fun.
That's really neat.
That's awesome.
So after the fair experience, what do 4-H youth do? What goes on, after the summertime?
Yeah, so I've heard a lot of 4-Hers say fair is exciting, but it's also the end of summer, right? So you're transitioning into the fall, you're going back to school, all of these things. And September to October is kind of like the 4-H New Year. So we do our re-enrollment period. There's a week in October that's National 4-H Week, so we kind of celebrate all the things that just happened in the summer and the chaos and craziness of all the programs we did and everything that was happening. So it's really the transition time, and it's a really great time to get involved if you want to join an after-school program. I'm hoping to put together a fall program or catalog so that families that are interested can see kind of the outline of the scope of the fall, and then maybe do one in the spring and summer as well. But just to give people an idea of the kind of grander scheme of things, you can kind of plan out your summer, your fall, your spring, because people are so busy. But
Are there events that are specific, like 4-H events besides the fair that you do?
Yeah, so we do. Usually we've been trying to do something in October that's almost like a new family night or something that celebrates the people that are coming in that haven't been in 4-H before to kind of welcome them in. And then in December, we have our 4-H banquet, so celebrating all the accomplishments of the year. It's kind of like our holiday gathering. We had it at the Fox Lake Event Center last year. That was really exciting, and we get a lot of attendance for that, which is great because it's kind of like a giant family dinner. It feels very nice. And then more towards fair time, before fair actually, we have our demonstration or presentation day. So anyone that's involved with performing arts, with doing music or speech, or we have the food review. Food review is very fun. I would love to get more energy around food review. Basically,
I like food.
You design your own tablescape and a menu that goes along with it. So it's like you're following nutritious, guidelines. You're making this like healthy meal, but it's also themed. So we had a Grinch table this year. That was very exciting. And the other one was kind of a farmhouse theme. So if anyone has any tablescape ideas, let me know because that's very exciting. And then we also do our fashion review. So we kind of do a mini 4-H fashion show of folks that do constructed garments. So a lot of really talented sewers in 4-H. It's really great to see.
That's neat too.
Yeah.
All these things that I had no idea about.
It's really, I always say 4-H is the ultimate choose your own adventure.
Yeah, there's so many aspects of it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Now, are you going to, or is 4-H going to be at the fair to have a booth information that, people can come and talk to you about 4-H?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're situated in the Bank Midwest building. So you'll see all the kind of booths as you go along that kind of alleyway, and then you'll see all of our projects. We're in that little office attached to the 4-H project, so if you want to come say hi, you can certainly come say hi. And then 4-Hers are always running around the fair, so we are always wearing our Clover gear. You can come and find us, ask us questions, but I'm sure I'll be running around everywhere and doing everything, so it'll be fun.
And where can people go online, or is there a website that they can check out, or a Facebook page?
Yeah, absolutely. We try to keep our Facebook page pretty up to date. So if you're looking for, the most recent happenings in 4-H, photos, things like that, you can go to our Facebook page. Or you could also go to our local Extension page. So not only does Extension do 4-H, but Extension also has other great resources online. They have tons of great information about, what might be wrong with your plant. You can send in a picture and send it to our Extension folks. You can have your soil tested. So if you have really any sort of Extension related questions, you can bring those to our Extension office and we'll try to hook you up with the right people. We have our master gardeners as well in Martin County, and they've done some really cool programming, and we're currently sort of designing a garden together, 4-H master gardeners, so that should be pretty fun. But we have all sorts of resources.
That is really cool.
That is cool.
Well, thank you, Laura, for being here. I learned a lot, so I hope they did too.
Sure,
Yeah,
it
there's
was
so
great
many
to be here.
aspects. Didn't even know it was in 4-H, so it's a great resource for the community.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Guys. It's great.
Thank you. Well, Laura sure has a lot of knowledge from 4-H and with the extension.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see them at the fair.
Yeah, me too. I really had little knowledge about 4-H, and there's an activity for everyone.
Yeah, so many things I had no idea 4-H was involved with for the kids and for actually adults too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thanks for being here with us today. That's our show.
Way down. We are getting asked a lot of questions on Facebook.
Oh.
And so we need to answer one of those before we leave.
Okay, so what's the question that they keep asking?
How is Imagine Martin able to hold so many events?
Yeah, how are we?
Well, let's see. Our website says, thanks to several generous grants and the incredible support of our community event sponsors, all of whom believe in celebrating creativity, connection, and community, a heartfelt thank you to each and every one who makes our events possible. You're the reason the magic keeps on happening.
Yeah, for real. I mean, all the sponsors we have, we would not be able to do what we're able to do today without them.
That's right. It's really appreciative to them of us being able to do this show and have this place. So.
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for watching, and join us next time on
Imagine Martin, inspired to create.
A community knows no bounds when the citizens are inspired to create.